a road trip. Nick and I have been just kind of feeling like we're stuck in the house doing normal routine things, and we have the day off with no appointments or anything. So we decided to go up to Hayward, Wisconsin. My grandparents retired a few years ago and now spend the summer up there on a lake. So it's only about an hour and a half away from us. Usually where they live for the other part of the year, it's about 4 hours away from us. So we thought that it'd be kind of fun to go up there, take a little day trip, and spend time relaxing on the lake. So we're about an hour into our drive, and I thought I'd talk to you a little bit about Hayward. It's no secret that obviously I've been a little bit stressed out. I have a lot of things going on in my life with starting school for, well, my nursing school at least, and then preparing for the surgery and everything that goes along with that. So Hayward has always kind of been my happy place. I came up here the first time, I think I was either 9 or 10. My grandparents have been coming up here for a lot longer than that, since my dad and uncle were little. And you know, we never took family vacations in the traditional sense of like going to Disneyland or anything like that. So for a week every summer, or sometimes 2 weeks, we'd come up to Hayward and just relax. The whole joke with my family is there's no rules up in Hayward, and so it's not like we would do terrible things or anything, but you know, we'd stay out late or just, it was just a time to let loose and have fun. It's a beautiful place. It doesn't feel like you're in Wisconsin. When you get up there, it just feels like you're in a whole other place. The air seems fresher, the sun seems brighter. It's just a wonderful place. So when I'm having a bad day and I'm at home and I'm stressed out, there's a picture that I have of Hayward, but I also can just close my eyes and picture the shoreline from sitting on the dock. And it's just a place that I just feel safe. It's probably because when I was younger, I didn't have all these different responsibilities and worries, and so it just reminds me of a simpler time, I guess. Of course, I like fishing and all of the things that go along with that, but as I've gotten older, I guess my favorite thing to do up there is just to sit on the dock and watch the lake go by. It's pretty cool to think that the lake that I'm watching will never be the same lake again, but it's always, I don't know, the same that I remember it or whatever. So it's just cool to be able to kind of go back to the simpler times, and it just lets me forget about all the worries and everything that I have for a little bit. So yesterday I was feeling a little bit overstressed. I tend to get in my own head and worry about things that I can't control and everything. And so I was just saying how much I miss my family, because we're 4 hours away from everybody. And Nick and I both had today off, like I said, and Nick said, well, why don't we go up and see your grandparents for a while? It'll give us time to just sit back, unwind, reconnect with family, and just get away for the day. So I'm really excited to be able to get up there. We have probably about 40 minutes left until we get there. So I'll record more with the drive into Hayward, and we'll probably go past a couple of my favorite spots. us to Hayward. It's about 20 miles off of the highway. Coming up here as a little kid, it was 6 hours drive. So this turn was like, oh, the final countdown to getting there. And of course, Nick is bored in the background, and I'm making him be quiet, so he feels the need to whistle and mutter, which is fine. It keeps me laughing. One thing I wanted to talk about was making healthy choices while on a road trip. Before this whole journey, I wanted nothing more than to eat everything while in the car. It was, oh, we're going on a road trip, I'm gonna bring a whole cake, or let's go to the gas station and stock up on a bunch of, yummy treats. But I was a little nervous about, I'm nervous, I guess, about traveling after this surgery and making healthy choices while on vacation. So what I did last night was get one of my protein shakes all prepped and everything. So I had that for breakfast. I have water with me, and I brought strawberries for a snack while in the car, and I brought grapes for a snack for our way home. And then obviously I'm pretty good about making good choices if we go out to eat. What I have to learn how to do is just plan ahead, that it's not going to be just a hop in the car, let's go type of thing. We'll get something on our way there, because it's really hard to make good choices when you just stop at a gas station. I mean, they have better choices than they used to, but it's a lot easier to slip up if you haven't planned ahead of time. So now I guess what we're going to show you is just kind of the drive in to Hayward, and we'll talk more when we're at the lake. So we've made it to Hayward, and right there is one of the many bait and tackle stores that are here in Hayward, and that's where we would stop the first thing when we got here. From Illinois, the fishing license that my grandparents had in Illinois didn't work up here, so they had to stop and get a visitor's pass for a fishing license. So that's the first thing we did, because the first thing my grandpa wanted to do when he got to the lake was unpack the car and then be able to go fishing. My grandma and I would take everything and put it away. The cabin that we would go to, you would have to bring your own towels and toiletries, and it obviously has a kitchen and everything, so my grandma would bring spices and different things, and then we would sit down and make a list and go grocery shopping at IGA. There wasn't a Walmart or anything up here when we first started coming up here. There is now, of course. So then we would put everything away, like I said, go grocery shopping, get everything, and get Hardee's chicken, because in Illinois we didn't have Hardee's at the time. So it's kind of like our routine of when we would first get up here. So coming into Hayward, the lake and resort that we stay at is about 10 miles out of town, so that's where we're headed now. I will show you the tackle store that my grandpa likes to go and get his minnows and all of his bait. It's just kind of cool, all the little memories that I have from up here. I don't know directions on how to get here. I just know based on where I remember turning as a kid, and it's just kind of weird how all of that stuff kind of sticks with you. So finally we get to turn onto the road that leads to the resort, and the first stop that we would make on this road is to Minnow Jim's, and that's right here on the right. So I don't know how long they've been here, but that's kind of our first stop. So here we'll do a time lapse of our way to the resort. So we've made it here. This is behind me, my grandma and grandpa's cabin that they stay in. And I'll kind of take you on a little tour of the resort. It's not much, but again, it's perfect for us. So they have a fish house where you can come and clean your fish. Nothing too spectacular, just a carving station, a scale, and then a big trough where you can wash the fish off, and then a garbage can, of course, to put all the guts. When you first come into the resort, like you saw in the clip before, the first thing you see is kind of the lodge. Sue, who owns the place, I don't know how often she has it open. I think it's just like Thursday, Friday, and Saturday. But they've kind of remodeled it since I was little. Used to have like pinball machines, Tetris, big like old school video game, and a pool table. But I think they have it more set for like an older people now. It kind of has more seating and stuff like that. So I'm gonna bring you kind of to my favorite spot on the lake, which is there's like a balcony overlooking the main dock. This is where the balcony is not where my grandma and I used to fish. My grandma and I used to come out here and fish off the main dock at about 7 o'clock every night. You can catch tons of little panfish, crappie, bluegill, and it's just a lot of fun. I much rather would fish off the main dock than go out in a boat. I kind of get seasick. I like it, but I'd rather just fish off the dock for panfish. I'm not like a big bass fisherman or anything like that. So here is the lake. So Sue, who owns this, I think there's like 11 cabins in the whole resort. Nothing too much or too fancy, like I said. When I first started coming up here, they just had TV that would only get like 4 stations. Now I think they have, you know, cable and internet and everything, because that's what people want. When I come up here, I just like to relax. I mean, of course, we bring our iPads and everything, but a majority of our time is spent out here. So there's like a little inlet over there, and that's another resort called Tall Pines. And so when I'm having a bad day, I, in my head, trace this shoreline. I haven't seen any loons yet. I've seen a couple of ducks. You can see them out there swimming. And we just saw a heron. So through there, there's that right there, kind of between those, you can see like water going in between. That's a small island, and then you can go through that pass, and there's a bigger island. And when we do go fishing, that's where we like to kind of dock, or, you know, put our anchors down, right in front of that big island. You get a lot of crappie there. And then behind the small island, there's a little inlet that I found one day when we weren't having any luck, and we caught a lot of fish there before too. So I just trace in my head. And then there's kind of a tree in the way, like in between those two trees. There's usually really big eagle's nest. I don't know if we're going to go out on the boat today. It's a little overcast. But if we try it out, I'll try to get a good shot of them. And then right there in between the main part of the land or shore and then the island, it's really shallow. And so usually if you get up right as the sun is rising, you can see deer crossing and drinking in that water. It's pretty cool. So usually we're out here a little early, of course. Nick is surfing on the dock. Chubby people cannot be out there together because we're scared. Usually where that white buoy is, there's a swimming dock, but it's not there yet because it's a little early in the season. But Nick is going to try to skip some rocks. He found some pretty good ones, he thinks. So let's see how that works.
Wasn't planning on that. Okay, wider stance.
Think thin, think thin.
No, think it straight.
Well, that's kind of different. Cool. Hold on, there's a fish just jumped up. He's gone now. Last one?
Yeah.
Make it worth it.
Thanks.
After we went on the boat ride that you see, Nick and I took my grandparents out for lunch, and I decided to leave my camera in the car. A, because I didn't know if my grandparents felt comfortable being interviewed or talked to or being on camera, I guess. And B, I just wanted to spend time with them. So we went to lunch at a bar that we like up there called the Sawmill. It's a grill and pub or whatever right outside town of Hayward. Came back and just hung out, talked for a couple hours. My grandma and Nick and I went on a walk, got our steps in, and then Nick and I headed out about 4:45 or so. You know, hit some traffic, hit some construction on the way home, and pretty uneventful, I guess. Had such a great time hanging out with them. It's absolutely what I needed. We both of us got a little bit of sun. We spent about an hour and a half out on the boat, I think. And it was just a really great time to just kind of decompress, not think about all of the normal things in life. You know, I didn't think about bills, didn't think about school, didn't think about work. And so it was just a really, really good time. I couldn't think of a better way to spend a Tuesday, and I definitely spent a lot of Tuesdays a lot worse off than I had today. So I guess I hope you guys enjoyed this, and I'll see you the next time. Bye. I don't think it's time-lapsing. I think it's just recording at this point.
I know.
Tell us about your day, creepy.
Well, I rose about 7:45 a.m. Dined on the souls of some infant orphans. Yes. Also known as Pop-Tarts. Then I drank the blood of a young child. Some would call it coffee. Okay, so I'm not creepy, sorry. We are driving. 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 That's a truck. That's another truck. That's That's Pain Train. That's Monsoon Season 6.
Why are you looking at me?
Because I am Batman. And that's another truck. No, haha, fooled you. That's the same truck. You never do. But look at that sky. It's a beautiful sky. Oh, yeah. Nice sky. It's a road sign. Oh, here's another one.
Oh, we have to figure out a way to flip.
You need to just keep watching the road, please.
Flip the video, because when you do that, it like doesn't flip with it.
Oh, sad.
So like when you're doing the time lapse, all of a sudden it's like, oh yeah.
I guess I'll put you back right side up then. It's a road. It's a good road. Hard. Cement. Going relatively straight. A few bendy grooves here and there.
You know none of this is getting saved, right? It can go in the end after the scrolling.
I don't